Good morning, dear students. Today I am here to tell you about modern cell theory. As you have already studied in the cell theory given by Schleiden and Swan, that cells are the basic unit of life. All cells arise from pre-existing cells, and all living organisms are made up of cells. Now, Rudolf Virchow in 1855, he added something to the cell theory and gave the modern cell theory. According to that, in relation to all that three postulates, he added some more. So, he told that cells contain hereditary material, that is the DNA, which can transfer from one cell to another cell or from parents to offspring. So it was called as unit of heredity. The basic chemical composition of all the cells are same, or all the cells are alike, and energy flow occurs within the cell, that is metabolism occurs within the cells. So it was given, this is called modern cell theory. So there are some exceptions to this cell theory. So the first exception is virus. As you all of you are aware of virus, protoplasm and nucleus are absent over here in virus. DNA and RNA can be the genetic material. Okay. So here in the cell theory it was told that DNA will be only genetic material, but there is an exception to this, that is virus. There RNA can be the genetic material. The second is bacteria and blue-green algae. So here what is happening? True cells are absent and nuclear membrane is also absent. Therefore nuclear content, that is the chromosomes, DNA, they are in direct contact with cytoplasm, which was not stated in case of cell theory. Now come to some fungus. Some mold fungus are also there. They have body just like undivided mass of protoplasm, in which numerous nuclei are scattered. So in normal cell there will be only one nucleus. So here it is told that numerous nuclei will be there and it will be undivided mass. Okay, so these are exception to some cell theory. Now coming on to protoplasm theory. In case of protoplasm, what it was told, that the substance which is entirely living part of the cell, that is called the protoplasm. Protoplasm is generally cytoplasm plus nucleus. Then Max Schulze, he told that cell is a mass of protoplasm with a nucleus. Okay, and nucleus is the control center of the cell. Afterwards, Edward Strasburger, he recognized that nucleus is related to inheritance of characters. Okay. Afterwards, what he told, Purkinje was the person who coined the term protoplasm for this substance in 1840. Then it is a colorless, vital, semi-transparent and semi-liquid substance. All the vital substances are present over here, and the activities of the cell are carried out due to the protoplasm. Okay. Then Thomas Huxley in 1868, he proposed that protoplasm is the physical basis of life. Now coming on to the properties, it is a gelatinous, granular, elastic, jelly-like substance and colorless also. Then it can change from salt to gel and gel to salt, means it can change from its condition, means gel is a condition where the liquid is less and the sol is where liquid will be more. So in protoplasm, the molecules are always in rapid motion. As you already have studied in physics, the molecules always are present in rapid motion. So here in protoplasm also same thing will be there. Such random motion is called Brownian movement. You are aware of the Brownian movement in physics, you might have studied. So this Brownian movement you can see in protoplasm. The molecules of protoplasm always it is showing streaming movement. Streaming movement means once it will go forward, then it will come just like to and fro motion. So streaming movement it will show. The protoplasm respond to stimulus, that is temperature, light, chemicals, etc., etc. Then coming on to some chemical composition, So it contains some organic substance and inorganic substance too. In inorganic substance, it will have 70% water, then some elements will also be there which will constitute the rest part, that is 30%. So there will be carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, sodium, potassium, and many more chemicals like, and some ions also, carbonate, sulfate, like this, phosphates in small amounts. Salts and gases can also be present. Along with that, CO2 and O2 can also be in the dissolved state. And coming on to the organic substance, there you will have carbohydrates, fats, proteins, acids, enzymes. Okay, by the decomposition of this, energy will be released. As I have already told, the protoplasm, protoplasm is the place for energy production. Protein is important for bodybuilding and repair of the tissues. So nucleic acid synthesize the proteins and is also responsible for hereditary characters. Okay, nucleic acids are responsible for hereditary characters. So if we will now coming on to the microscopic study, the detailed structure of the cell that has been studied under electron microscope. Okay, detailed structure. So previously the compound microscope was there, which can magnify only up to 2000 times. The image was magnified only about 2000 times in case of compound microscope, but the electron beams which are used by the electron microscope can magnify the images up to 2 lakh times. So that was a big discovery invention for the mankind, the electron microscope, through which we can explore the cells in a more better way. Now coming on to the shape and size, the cell size can vary from nanometers or micrometers to a few meter or few centimeters. So if we will talk about the smallest cell, that is the Mycoplasma lead larvae, that is an bacteria, it is a bacteria, Mycoplasma lead larvae, which is only about 0.1 to 0.15 micron, and 1 micron is 10 to the power minus 6 meters. So you can imagine how much small it is. Even it cannot be seen by the naked eyes. It is a microscopic in nature. And if you will talk about the cell, largest cell there, that is the ostrich egg. Here it is 117 to 135 centimeter in diameter. Not centimeter, it is millimeter. Okay. So you can imagine. So the cell size varies from this much to that much. Mycoplasma 0.01 to 0.15 micron to, then you can tell 117 to 135 millimeter in diameter. Then nerve cells, they are the longest cells. They are 90 to 110 centimeter. Okay, so if we will talk about the plants, that there are fibers of rami, they are 55 centimeter long. Then acetabularia, it is an alga, that is 10 centimeter in height. Okay, so cell shape is also varying. So you can see it can be spindle shaped, cuboidal, polygonal, plate structure, irregular, plate like structure. So the cell shapes are influenced by surface tension. Surface tension you might have studied in the physics, the surface tension responsible for floating or not floating of any substance on the surface, on the water surface. So that depends, simply that tells about the viscosity due to which it can float or it can go inside the water. So rigidity of the membrane, internal environment, functions, okay, they all are influencing the cell shape. Okay, so basically a cell shape is decided by the function which it is performing. So if the function which is performed by the cell, that is of different types, so obviously the cells will be having different types. Example, you can see smooth muscle cells, that is elongated, okay, tapering at the end, and it will be elongated. If it is RBC, it will be round in nature. Okay, if it is your liver cell, you can see it will be clumped together because it has to work in a proper manner. Nerve cells, their length is big because it has to carry the informations from one cell to another cell. So numbering, if you will talk cell number, as you are aware, unicellular and multicellular organism. So some will be having only one cell, some will be having more than one cell, and it can increase up to 16 to 10 to the power 15 cells. So this can be there. So you can imagine largest animal and larger animal plants may have more than one cell. Okay, now coming on to the structure, basically there are three structures: cell membrane, cytoplasm and nucleus. Okay, these are the basic parts. So nucleus, you are aware that it is the control center of the cell. Cytoplasm is the jelly like material where all the cell organelles will be floating, and the cell membrane is the outermost part of the cell, animal cell, which is protecting it from the outside environment. Okay, so this was the overview of the cell and the protoplasm. Next video I will be discussing about the cell organelles in detail. Okay.